Central banks have two weapons: money printing and interest rates. Clearly, it isn't just the Fed using and abusing both of these failed methods. All around the world, we have seen unprecedented levels of monetary easing, many orders of magnitude greater than what they had done before. In short order, this will accelerate towards their greatest achievement, destroying the currency. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Today we will look at central banks around the world and how their policies have destroyed the currencies. Beginning with this. Global central banks' balance sheets, that's the red line. It's measured in US dollars, and they are showing you global stocks and gold as well. What I want to note is simply the fact that it has been going up and up and up. And it doesn't necessarily matter if it's the US first or then Japan. They don't have to be going in sync with each other. As long as somebody is printing, money is remaining current with currency, and it's flowing. And that flow keeps the system alive. You need to realize that it is absolutely essential for money to continue trading hands. That oftentimes, we see that not happening because of stagnation, real stagnation in the economy. And then the government steps in, the central bank steps in and tries to get things moving again. Look at the global central banks' balance sheets to determine what will happen with their stock market. It is absolutely crucial to understand this. Look at what's happening in China, where you have the government, the central bank, going in and printing up currency, giving it to essentially, not fake companies, but companies that are really there. They're really just the government. And then they buy up shares of stocks. And this here is a failed policy to begin with. If a stock is declining, it is doing so for a very good reason. Now, sure, there might be individuals shorting that stock, but it's all about buyers and sellers at any given time. They will find an equilibrium eventually. And if that stock you owned at $100 a share goes down to, let's say, $10 a share, do you pull your money out at $10 a share, or do you see the opportunity in the $10 a share? That's where you have to look at. I'm not even necessarily advocating paper investments. I'm just using that as an example because these markets are completely manipulated, and individuals who, they want to get into paper stocks, they need to realize how to use this system properly. There's a very particular way, I discuss more in my book. Anyway, not to get too in depth on that. Look at what's happening with the S&P, as far as I'm considered, although some individuals disagree. It's stagnant. Over the past few years, it's stagnant. If you look at it since the year 2000, factoring in for inflation, it is stagnant. It's hurting. Look at the growth expectations for 2016. It is at the bottom. There is nowhere for this to go. It is so sad, so dismal where this has headed. And, when you have a GDP growth, a fake GDP growth of approximately 1%, where do you think you're going to be able to grow yourself out of a problem when 3% is considered to be dismal by any means, and they just changed the definition of what a recession is? That's how they do this. It's so silly, so silly. Moving on. Everyone's favorite dictator, Chancellor Angela Merkel, the government is battening down the hatches for the coming Brexit talks, instructing officials to avoid any backdoor contacts that could hand the UK an advantage. Interesting. If you want to read the article, you can do so. It's out of Bloomberg. all I wanted to mention from this was the fact that Germany is trying to make it difficult, not just Germany, is trying to make it difficult for the UK to leave the Eurozone. Now, why in the world would they want to do this? Are they able to capitalize off of the UK remaining? Are they trying to do additional damage to the UK? Are they trying to save themselves in some way, believing that this could start a domino effect? And this is the kind of questions that we don't know. Of course, we don't know the truth, but it's just interesting to see how one country is doing all it can to stop another country from doing what it wants to do. The people had voted, said, look, we want to leave. And then you have a country like Germany saying, UK, you're not allowed to leave and we're going to do everything we can. It's pretty silly here because all of these countries, in fact, were forced in to the EU. And here they are, still stuck. They can't even leave. It's a prison. They've been put in a prison. And they say that it's not. It's not. Absolutely not. But they can't even leave. So what do you call it? They're trying very difficult. It's become very difficult here. And it looks like that's the case. They have to implement Article 50 as soon as possible. And this is about healthcare. The allure of cheap doctors, drugs, and dentists in Mexico. And I find it very interesting that Canadians oftentimes will go to the US because the wait times, for example, for an MRI, you have to wait several months. And then you have waited so long in Canada, you wait so long, you finally get your MRI. By the time you get your appointment with that particular specialist, that MRI is no longer valid. And it just drags on. And meanwhile, people with serious conditions are in trouble because it's such a long delay. And if they would have caught those things earlier, then perhaps they would have been able to be rescued. But oftentimes it's not the case. And then you see the people from the US, they go to Mexico. I mean, this healthcare is screwed up everywhere. And the whole system is broken. It is entirely broken. There are different reasons for this, but I just find it funny that the Canadians go to the US and the US go to Mexico. So it's just interesting to see it all. That's all I wanted to mention. If you found this video informative, please give me a thumbs up. If you found the video informative, I know you'll find my book, The Money GPS, even more informative. You can actually flip through the book. Just go over to Amazon. They have this look inside feature, which will allow you to flip through the pages of the book and see if you like it. Take care. You ever notice how this channel, despite the fact that I'm over 900 videos here on YouTube, actually I deleted approximately 200 of them because they had screenshots I used from Google Images, and we're still sitting at 900 videos, and it's been a long ride. It's been since 2011. This channel has 35,000 great subscribers. Thank you all. And I just noticed, I mean, to me it doesn't matter because I'm going to post a video regardless, but I look at other channels in the alternative news, and I find a lot of them whose content is so minimal. Like, you might get one fact in a particular video, whereas I like to just do a shotgun blast of different facts. If you want to check them out for yourself, that's why I try to put the sources in the description. Then you could do that. I'm basically trying to save you time. I go through, I spend a few hours looking through all different articles, all different documents, declassified things. I've done many videos like that, and essentially just try to save you time. Here's what you need to know. Here's the main point. Move on. That's these videos. So I personally find them to be very informative for the viewer, and many of you have commented how informative they are, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But then I see others who are out there, and they don't really have much to say, but they get more views, they get more subscribers. I'm not sure, if maybe it's all the little technical jargon that goes on behind the scenes. I don't know. But anyway, I just thought I'd mention that and wanted to know what you think. Is there something that you see that I'm doing differently than others? Others maybe do it better than I do it. I'm interested just to hear what you have to think. Thank you.